It is the SMT Media Network. In today's video, I want to discuss or kind of respond to some of the stories that are being printed, some of the stories that are being discussed on the talking heads of the world, discussing whether or not LeBron knew about the AD trade to Dallas for Luka Doncic. And I guess nobody really knows. We may eventually find out, but I always look kind of at what I feel is the most logical thing is what is the most reasonable explanation for how things played out. Now, I want to start off by saying LeBron James has his hands in everything. You know, he's always been in heavy control of like roster configuration and the way that teams are constructed and how they play and all those things. There's a reason why people think he knew about this, and there's a reason why people are speculating that LeBron knew that this was a possibility or that this was going to happen or what have you. Whatever the case may be. I think there's a version of this where LeBron did know and gave the Lakers, quote unquote, the blessing. And I think this goes back to the fact that, you know, the Lakers weren't going to extend AD. So right away, AD's representation, his agent, Clutch Sports, LeBron, these guys all are together. They move in sync with one another. They're in tune with every situation that they have within that organization. So is it possible that LeBron knew that this was going to happen? He knew that they were going to trade AD. I think that possibility was there. He knew that there was a possibility that AD would be traded. And that's not out of the realm of possibility. So anybody who says LeBron knew, I can respect it. LeBron is prone to meddling. He's prone to getting people shipped out of his team and reconfiguring rosters to whatever advantage he thinks he needs. So I get it. You know, that's a possibility. So I want to bring some respect and light to that. But I think what's most important to note is that when it was first announced, and this is where I put my speculative hat on there. When this was first announced that LeBron didn't know and he wasn't made privy or wasn't aware of it, and he was at quote unquote dinner with his family when he found out, that throws up red flags. I don't know who asked him if he was at dinner. I don't know who really gives a damn or gives a shit whatever LeBron is doing when he finds out about AD getting traded. But the fact that that was offered as an explanation as to how it played out, it sounds like bullshit. You know, like he just played a game. You know, I think that was the night that they beat the Knicks, maybe? Beat the Knicks or the Sixers? I forget. It was one of those teams that they beat. It was definitely after the Celtics and stuff. You know, this is recently, like last week. But, like, who cares? You know, like, going out of their way to try to make a story. And those are the types of narratives that I think have been surrounding LeBron forever. It's always stories, being sedated because of the Delonte West thing, and then punching the glass with the wristband. You know, like, it's just bullshit theatrics. And, you know, if you believe any of that stuff, seriously, I got a bridge for sale in Brooklyn. I'll give it to you for cheap. And I got an oceanfront property in Idaho for sale. You know, it just... Look, I get it. If you believe that LeBron knew, or if you think that LeBron was a part of this trade to get AD out of LA to bring in Luka, I can respect it. That is very possible. There's also a version of this where I think LeBron didn't know, because Anthony Davis is the best player on that team. But something, and this is the logistics of the basketball team construction, they may have only gone as far as they could with the way the team was constructed. Nobody in the NBA, none of you out there, me, you, your friends, the other people watching this video, nobody believes that the Lakers were competing for a championship this year. They're not even close. In fact, I always thought that they were a fringe playoff team, like a play-in team. If AD was going to go down for an extended period of time, they were going to suck. Right? So in my opinion, them moving to Luka, sending AD to what I say is a contender, actually does AD a favor. Get him away from the trash Lakers, who have JJ Redick as their head coach, Bronny James on their roster. I mean, what are we talking about here? Your co-star is a 40-year-old that refuses to play defense consistently and is turnover prone and probably averages 45% of the team's turnovers. AD has to feel blessed to go to the Lakers where he can actually compete for a title. I'm not saying they're going to win the championship, but when I look at the construct of the West, why the hell can't they finish in the Western Conference Finals? A matchup with the Rockets or the Thunder or the Grizzlies or the Nuggets in the second round or the Western Conference. That's very possible. If you look at the team, they have balance. If you look at the team, they have bigs. They have AD, who's, in my opinion, the best two-way player in the league. Most capable when he's healthy, actually. You got Kyrie Irving. You got Klay Thompson. You got nice supporting pieces. PJ Tucker. I mean, what are we talking about here? Or not PJ Tucker. PJ Washington. My bad. PJ Tucker. Did he get traded or something recently? Dude's like 39 years old. PJ Washington, who's a nice young talent. They got players. They were just in the finals with a Luka Doncic that was basically melting down. Lack of emotional intelligence costed him the finals. Horrible defender. Like, awful. Like, they were trying not to foul him out. And they had to. Blew his complete cool. Right? Just arguing, yelling with the refs the whole time. Costed his team a chance to compete for a title. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's... The Lakers may have done this for themselves in the future, but it also could look at it like LeBron's saying, well, hey, maybe I got a couple more years left, and you bring me Luka, and then we get a second trade or a third trade. We bring some other guys. There's going to be free agents. We could trade this. We could trade that. You know how it goes. So I get it. So the question is whether or not LeBron knew. Did Rob Pelinka tell him all this? In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. But when somebody says, I believe he knew, I respect it. I get it. I understand your position. I may disagree with it. I may think otherwise. But it's realistic that he did know. And it's realistic he was cool with a player getting traded. And you know what? He probably felt like maybe this was the best thing for AD. Who knows?